one of these days, I actually want to put together a list of stars that we think that would and would not like succeed in either today's era or past eras. And then this is one I actually came up with. I really want to do this. I want to do a GOAT starting 5 draft.
Bro, 100%. When I saw that note, I'm like, dude, now that I can get behind.
I really want to do that.
You
I
could
think
do it
so
for
cool.
basketball, starting 5, right?
Yeah.
You do it for football, skill players only.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I didn't even think about that, but that's...
See what I mean? Just
Yes.
skill players. Because you could linemen.
Are we
and
talking about
stuff,
only
like,
offense?
We could
Actually do two different drafts. We
yeah.
could do an offensive draft and a defensive
For
draft.
football, you could easily do that.
How are we doing on defense?
How,
2
what?
corners.
Do you just do the skill position? No, like linebackers. You could, but
That
see
one
the
gets a little
DNs come
messy.
in though. That one's a little bit harder.
Because the thing about it's impossible. I don't know. That one gets hard because you can't really leave out any position because then Aaron Donald's got to be somewhere.
Well, yeah, Aaron Donald.
JJ Watt's got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you include all 11 positions? Because then defense is a little bit different. On offense, that offensive line, one. By the way, Trent Williams was the guy I couldn't think of the other day. The left tackle for the 49ers. When you get that offense, like obviously Trent Williams is the star on that line. But as an offensive line, like probably one of the best things that could be said about you is that nobody knows anybody's name because you never get mentioned because all you do is never let anything bad happen.
Right, because that and your whole team's just doing so well because of you. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I say that almost sounds like I don't want to give any offensive lineman credit, but, dude, if you don't have an offensive line, you're screwed. It's the most important thing outside of a quarterback in building an offense. Which is one of the reasons why I'm scared the Cardinals won't take Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think I've been watching a lot about that. I think I don't think they can pass him up.
I don't think they can either, but I've heard
they're dumb enough.
I've heard so much talk about them dropping back to 6 with the Giants, I think, are at 6. So the Giants can come up and get J.J. McCarthy, which I think is just crazy. And then they can get either one of the other receivers because the Chargers, and I've also heard this, the Chargers might take an offensive lineman because Jim Harbaugh is a on-the-line guy. Everything is built around the line.
They're trying to say Harbaugh wants to take McCarthy.
I've
heard that story. It could be stupid because Herbert's not. Yeah, Justin Herbert's. He's a baller. Like, I don't know what you're worried about.
Which is crazy because I think of Justin Herbert, like so far he's Phillip Rivers.
Yep,
that's what he is so far.
100%.
That's not to take away from
Phillip
Rivers.
It's the Chargers. That's kind of what they're known for.
What they are known for.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not to take away from Phillip Rivers. I mean, he was a really good quarterback for his time in San Diego. Would he even play in L.A.? No, he was in L.A. He was there for one season. I think it was there when he played in the soccer stadium. But anyway, I was gonna say like he was there, but Justin Herbert's had no success. He's never made it to the playoffs, and if he has, he's never gone anywhere because I don't even remember him being there. So I mean, so far Justin Herbert on paper, on Madden, is a guy you want running your team, but he hasn't proven it. It's kind of the same thing with Trevor Lawrence out in Jacksonville. He's at least made it to the playoffs.
No, that's true.
Right. So, but I actually want to take a quick break here. And I actually got to put my girl to sleep. So we got to take a quick break here. But hold on to that thought about actually, we weren't even talking about anything specific other than we want to do this draft.
Yeah.
Well, we'll pick that up in a minute. All right. We didn't really have anything else to add to that draft idea other than we're going to do that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And you know how our phones are always listening, right?
Yeah.
So while you stepped, oh, shoot, did I get rid of it? I might have gotten rid of it. Never mind.
Ah, dang it.
It had to do with LeBron. It talked about how, like, all the greats and what they say about him. And, like, it says if all these people say it, it must be true. And it says, like, Phil Jackson, every time LeBron touches the ball, he travels. If Rodman calls him an average player in the 80s and 90s, if he played in the 80s and 90s, he'd just be an average player is what Rodman's saying.
Yeah, and that's my thing is like, dude, Rodman, shut up. You're just an old man who's upset that you don't get the recognition that you think you deserve.
I don't know.
No, dude, I think it's garbage. Now, I'm not going to say that Phil's wrong, but I also think that LeBron and everybody else in the league carries. LeBron and everybody else in the league travels because that's the league we live in. And if you were to go back into the 90s, the same exact crap was said about Michael Jordan, how he traveled all the time.
Oh, really?
It was the exact same thing was said about those guys, right? So everybody's got complaints. I just think it's stupid how many guys from different eras will talk about how these guys today suck. It's like, dude, they play in a completely different sport than you are. Like, it's not the same game. They've changed the rules so much, and I've said this a million times, I do freaking hate how today players are rewarded for being absolutely and completely the biggest possible in the freaking world. I hate it.
Well, you're not wrong, but they are rewarded for it. They just play the game.
Yeah, that drives me nuts. Hey, I got to check out one more thing because for some reason when I pressed that button, nothing happened. So I'm wondering that something broke while I was gone.
We didn't touch anything.
I know, we didn't touch a friggin' thing. Well, I guess maybe that just one thing doesn't work. So everything else seemed to work, but I'll just have to go in and do that manually. Anyway, I think it's going to be a fun exercise to
that'd
do
be
that
cool.
starting five draft. And we'll have to figure out how we're going to work it with the NFL because that one is a lot harder because there's so many players on different positions on defense that like you just can't ignore their impact.
Right, yeah. You couldn't. There's middle linebacker, there's edge rusher, there's corner, there's safety, there's free safety. Because everybody's different. Yeah, you got to.
Like, how are you going to say only free safeties? Because... Dude, Cam Chancellor was one heck of a strong safety.
Oh, yeah, strong safety.
You can't ignore that.
Well, you can't. And it's funny you mentioned like Aaron Donald of today, but you're talking guys like, what was that? What was the
John
guy's
Randall?
Name? No, what was the guy's name? Reggie White.
Reggie White.
You're talking guys from back then too, right? Like or Singletary, or you got all these dudes. You're like you can't leave them out, so you can't. Right. You'd have to do it for defense.
Yeah, and the hard thing also weird about the NFL is if you were to go back and try and use stats, they didn't start tracking sacks until like 1982 or something like that. So all those guys in the 70s that were just absolutely destroying quarterbacks, it's just called a tackle.
When they actually could hit a quarterback.
And I mean, like, dude, poor Terry Bradshaw, man. How's that guy still walking?
No joke, right?
That guy got lit up so often.
Trashed.
Dude, but that was just a different... you want to talk about different eras.
Imagine Lawrence Taylor coming at you, bro. Dude. Oh, my
I'm telling you, when you talk about different eras, I complain about it with the NBA. They're basically playing the same sport, just... a little bit different, right?
Football's not
even close to the same game.
Their helmets. I mean, you can just say padding. Padding in general has changed.
General.
I don't know how anybody gets hurt in football.
Dude, I don't know how anybody survived back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, how did those guys live?
Leather helmets, all that crap to begin with, and then now you like
single bar face mask.
single bar face mask. You had shoulder pads that were way too big for you,
way too small,
depending on how
the
fast you wanted to be.
Thinking that's going to help your neck.
Yeah, I wore that just to make myself look bigger.
Awesome.
It looked so much bigger too. It did nothing. It was sat back too far, but it didn't matter. It looked bigger.
Cool.
Yeah.
100% agree. It looked so freaking
awesome.
Cool. You better believe every time I created my player on Madden, didn't matter what position he was playing, he had a neck roll.
I wanted a neck roll and I wanted a visor, but I couldn't get a visor. Yeah, but I couldn't get one. But I'm like, come on.
See, what I did is I wore the Under Armour long sleeves. I thought that was a cool look.
See, we had those. I had them for my pants. I didn't wear socks. I'd wear those like black long leggings or whatnot at the time. Yeah,
dude, that was such a cool.
Such a good time to be alive.
We've talked about this. Look good, play good.
Oh, 100%.
You feel like you look good, you're gonna play good.
You look good, feel good, play good. Over.
Yes,
over.
100%. So we did talk about this before, but dude, how big a deal do you think it is that Jontay Porter lifetime ban in the NBA for his betting on the under on himself? Like, that is one of the craziest things.
Definitely necessary.
Dude, I just find it insane that this guy was willing to literally throw away his life dream for a couple $100,000 bets
too, right?
Yes.
That's the problem. It's this generation. They don't think about that stuff, dude. They don't, there's been no consequence for their actions, especially when you're a D1 athlete. They get away with anything. They're allowed to do whatever they want. They eat what they want. They do what they want. They go where they want, and nobody tells them no, and they treat them like they're royalty.
Dude, and I just can't stop thinking about this guy's career. He literally threw it all away on some stupid prop bets.
And which you would have made 10 times that in like within 2 years.
If he would have just, and now he was a guy that was maybe he doesn't make it onto a roster next year. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But dude, you're talking like any team you play on from now until the end. Let's say, okay, you know what, you're not going to make the NBA. I'm going to play in Europe. I'm going to go play in Australia. I'm going to go play in any other professional league that's going to pay me a good living. Every team you go to is going to be like, so are you dogging it tonight?
Yeah.
What bets are you got placed on you?
He can't ever go anywhere now.
Anywhere. Everyone's going to constantly.
He's going to be working at Home Depot before you know it.
He hopes. He hopes. But I mean, I think it's crazy. It's like, it's not even that he bet on his team to win. He was betting on himself to underperform the line.
Got to give it to him.
I mean, I guess he's setting an example for everybody else.
Stupidity award.
Oh my gosh, that's the dumbest thing ever. I would accept it and totally excuse it if he was betting on the Raptors to win, because they're a terrible team. But he's like, no, we're gonna win this game. Put it, bet it.
Yeah.
But instead of, no, I'm not gonna get 4 points tonight, so bet the under.
Once I hit that 2, I'm gonna go out with an injury.
I got an eye injury that just
can't see.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, that's the kind of stuff where it's like, again, nobody's gonna trust you. No one could possibly trust you. You'd love to believe in second chances, but dude, that you blew it.
Yeah, he's done.
That's an enormous thing that I think we didn't talk about at all. But that's freaking
Give
nuts.
your freaking whole career, everything you've worked for up to that moment from when you first picked up a basketball all the way to there. That just shows you he's a talent guy, not a work guy.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I'm saying? That's what that's what that proves to me. He never worked for it.
Yeah.
Because guys like Ray Allen, these guys that have worked their whole entire career for that would never do that.
Yeah. I mean, you just can't imagine that they would. No. Because that's such a short sight. I mean, dude, Pete Rose, probably the most famous guy to be banned from his sport.
Yeah.
Pete Rose, he was betting on his team to win.
That's it.
That was what he was doing.
And he got banned forever.
He got banned for life. And he is 100. He is the league. He has the most hits in baseball history.
Which is crazy.
It is crazy. That's a crazy statistic. He was one of the best players of the 70s and 80s. And he is banned for life because he was betting on his team to win. Now,
he wasn't betting on him to strike out. Yes. He was just betting that his team would pull out a win.
Yeah, we're going to win this game tonight. Book it.
Yeah.
I'm putting 10 grand down on our win.
Okay. Is that a problem?
I don't think it is.
Because like at the end of the day,
don't have any problem
I'm talking
with
wins and losses. If you're doing what this guy did, no, that's different.
Yes.
But if I'm like, no, I'm going to put 10 grand on us to win because I'm confident we're going to win.
Yeah.
And I'll take the L. If we get the L, I'm out. But I feel like that's not like I have no control over 8 other people hitting the ball.
Yeah.
Or whatever, fielding the ball, right? It's nothing I can control.
Dude, I'm with you. I understand the slippery slope that you go down, that we would go down as a society if we opened up and said that's fine.
Right.
But I'm also like, dude, I don't have a problem with him having that kind of confidence in his team.
No.
I think it's awesome. And he wasn't even hitting it. He wasn't even playing at the time. He was a manager.
Imagine walking down hey, come on, boys. I got 20 grand on the line here. Let's go.
Y'all better win this game.
Y'all better win.
Win this one for the Gipper tonight.
Yeah.
I got a big money.
Motivation.
Yes.
I put 100 grand on us to win.
Listen,
so let's go.
If we don't win this game tonight, guys, I'm losing my house. We got to win tonight.
See,
Put the pressure on.
I kind of don't see a problem with that kind of stuff.
Like I say, it's dumb, but like, it's much easier to have that conversation about Pete Rose, how he should be accepted in the Hall of Fame, than to ever have anything positive to say about Jontay Porter.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And I would hope that they would tell us, this, like the audience, would be like, just to watch for the game, because what's his name? But 100 grand on this game.
I'm watching in the dugout,
sweating, dude. The bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, and 3 men
worst guys
on.
Up, yeah, his worst guys up to bat.
Yeah, you got the number 9 hitter.
Yes, he's got nobody on the bench left because he's already exhausted his entire lineup. Oh man, that would be fantastic.
That would be good. I would watch that game.
Screw you, Jontay Porter. What just a horrible, stupid, short-sighted decision. And not only that, but dude, he just reduces credibility in anybody in the league now. Because anytime that somebody underperforms, like the Suns, you wonder.
Told you. Rigged.
That's rigged or
scripted. Something.
Okay, here's another thing that I wanted to say. When I feel like it's important because I've heard a lot of the local sports media talk about why would Kevin Young take the job at BYU as a basketball coach? Why would he do that when he was on track to become an NBA coach? I feel like it needs to be said, and not that, I mean, who's going to listen to this? I have no idea. But
everybody.
Yeah, but getting the job as a coach at BYU is much more to the guy who gets that job than it would be to anybody that's not a member of the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. Because it is more than just being a coach. You are now becoming a mentor for many young members of the church, of that church throughout the world. Because one of the things that they do, in any time that the team travels, they'll do what they call like a fireside, where it's basically we're going to gather whatever members of this area that we're going to, we're going to gather them together and we're going to have a talk at one of the local meeting houses and talk about how important it is to do this.
During the season?
During the season.
Really?
So anytime that if BYU football is going to, we'll say TCU, because they're going to be in the Big 12 now, they'll have one of those either that week or after the game.
With the players?
Not with the players. Sometimes with a player or two, but the coaches.
Really?
Yes. And that's why I'm saying when you get that job, it's much more than you just being a qualified good coach. It's, hey, you got to be a faithful member of this church.
Divine intervention.
Yeah, it is. They almost treat it like that. It's like you had better be super faithful in this church. You better really believe in it, and you better be willing to take that responsibility of being that representative of the church.
It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot. So I don't know that it needed to be said or get out there, but like when you become a coach, a football coach, a baseball coach, a basketball coach at Brigham Young University, it's not just a coaching position.
You have expectations.
You have expectations of being much more than wins and losses. Like what you do off the field matters almost
you're
more
essentially
than what you
like
do
a bishop or something.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have to, all these other things you're not going to get paid for.
Right.
But they're going to expect you to do it.
Expected. And like I said, it's one of those things where it's kind of a bigger deal. It's not just like this little, hey, I'm getting the job because I won X amount of games at whatever Division II school that I'm getting the promotion from. That's not it at all.
That's pretty impressive, though. Somebody to take on that responsibility.
Yeah.
Whether you believe in the faith or not doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing for you to say, hey, look, I'll take on the job, and you can expect me to do this for you as well.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I felt like it needed to be said only because there's a lot of people questioning why would he lead the NBA. Like they really thought he was going to get the head coaching job somewhere this year.
Yeah, but if you're a faithful member of that church or any kind of church like that where that's a big deal to you, that's a high calling for them. Like that's something where you're like, you look at it like a prestigious honor. Like, yeah, coaching the NBA would be cool, but if you're somebody that puts your faith over everything else, there is nothing cooler than that. For
exactly. I think that's exactly well said. Yeah. That's 100% what it is. That's basically what I was trying to say, and you said that in like a third of the time that it took me to say what I said. So well done on you. Well done on you. One thing I wanted to talk about, and let me ask you this question. Now, your kid's a little bit older, but your youngest girl is still probably in that age in which this might apply. Whenever you took your girls to birthday parties, did you stay around?
No.
Okay. Let me also ask this question. Probably should ask this one first. When you were younger, when you were a kid going to birthday parties, did your parents ever say, okay. I find this super weird that people
It's a thing. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I listen, yesterday I took my kids to a birthday party for, now it's not weird for me to hang around because this is a guy that's close enough where I call him my brother.
Yeah.
We're not blood related.
That's
he
different.
He and his wife are our unofficial siblings to me and my wife. We love these people so much. We love their kids like our kids type thing. Yep. And so when we went to the birthday party, it was expected that we're going to hang out with the parents. Our kids are going to hang. So that's fine. Dude, every freaking kid's parent was there.
It makes it weird.
It's so weird.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, look, if you're uncomfortable taking your kid to the party and dropping them off, then don't take them to the party.
I'm with you.
Like, that's like, I mean, these kids are kids. I mean, I don't have a problem with you as a parent going, like, I want to go into the house. As if I'm dropping a kid off, I always want to go meet the mom or dad or whatever. Okay, yes. Hey, cool. Look around. No obvious signs of anything crazy. No, nothing weird right away, you know.
I'm not seeing a burning cross in the backyard.
Yeah, or, something, whatever it may be, an anarchy sign or whatever, right? Like, you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be good for now. They got a few hours with them. Let them be. Right?
Yes.
And most of the time, I imagine you're going to be taking your kids to places you kind of already know.
Yeah, or at least, like, maybe not. But like you said, I'm going to go in, meet the parents, get a feel for the situation.
What time do you want me back? What time's it over?
Right. And then I'm leaving.
Because here's the part with me that bothers me is now when these parents stay, I got to feed them too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I got pizza for the kids and for the 7 of us adults here. Now there's 14 of you adults. Hey, don't touch the pizza. You don't get any cake. You don't get a cupcake. Just stand back around the corner. You want to stay and be weird, go stand over there.
And good on my buddy for he and his wife being prepared for weird parents today because they had adult food ready for everybody. They were ready to feed all the parents that were showing up. And my buddy asked me, he's like, hey, dude, do you mind manning the grill? I'm like, no problem at all. In fact, I even told him, like, I'm glad you asked because my wife wasn't there. Oh. She had a volleyball tournament, so it was just me and my kids. And I'm like, I didn't want to sit here next to a bunch of parents. I don't know any of these people. Thank you for giving me a job of something to do. And I genuinely meant it. But it was just so strange to me, dude.
It's a thing.
Because, like, a birthday party before this, one of the kids in my son's class invited, like, the entire class. And they went to Elevate, that trampoline park up there. And I walk in. I drop my kids off, and I'm like, all right, so what time do we pick them up? They're like, oh, we're probably going to wrap it up around here. You sure you don't want to stay? I'm like, no, I'm not staying for this. I'm going. Like, yeah. I got no reason to be here for this.
But that almost makes more sense to stay there because it's not so weird.
Yeah.
Like, you're at least in an area where you can, like, sit back. You can let them do their thing. You don't have to be, like, in somebody's living room or you're just sitting there. I'm just waiting. I got 2 hours. That's the helicopter parenting that's out of control now. I think that you can't even let your kid go to a birthday party for 2 hours.
And my thing about that is not only is it uncomfortable for me to be there, dude, I want my kids to be able to go.
Yeah. Like they got to learn to be away from there. Like
we've talked about, I am the guy that's scared to let my kids go 2 doors down from piano practice. Like I'm not pretending like I'm not nervous about it, But dude, I gotta think about it when it comes to a birthday party. I don't want my kids to be like, "What's Dad doing here?"
Yeah, like why is Dad here?
And maybe they're not thinking that.
But
I know I would have. I would have been like, "Dude, Mom, Dad, go. I'm here with my friends now. Let you go." Right?
Yeah, I don't. I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, why are you staying? Like, my kids would be like, why are you here?
Yeah, right.
I'm like, I don't know, because there's food, there's free pizza. I don't know.
Exactly.
Like, it's not for me. I mean, to you, anybody listening that does that crap, good for you. Like, just, I think it's weird. It makes it really awkward as a parent when you're the person there and you've got these other parents just kind of staring at you now.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they're rushing you. And then they're judging you on your party. You know they're judging how you're doing it,
Yes.
what games you're doing. They're secretly over there like, oh, I wouldn't do it like that. Well, this is taking too long. Why have they not started cake yet? Why have they not?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they're doing. It's like, look, no. Just drop them off. I said 1:30 to 3:30. 3:30, you come back in, you pick up your kid with their whatever, and they go.
You can leave your kids for 2 hours to go to a birthday party. You can do that.
Yeah, you should do that. If you're not, you need to understand that you're just creating bigger problems later on.
Or listen, if you're uncomfortable with it, then maybe your kid can't come.
Yeah.
I don't know. I maybe I'm being a little too ridiculous about this because I don't want kids to not come to birthday parties if their mom and dad don't feel like they need to hang around. Like, I don't want that, right? I just also wanted to be like, hey, listen, you got to let your kids be kids with kids.
Yeah.
Like they got to be able to hang out. Let them be social. Let them not feel like mom and dad are over their shoulder watching every single thing that they're doing. Like,
bro, that's the way of the world right now.
Yeah, I wonder because we've talked about this before. Is it because I know that the world isn't statistically more dangerous today than it was 30 years ago, 15 years ago when you and I, or 20 years ago. I got to be realistic.
Yeah.
20 years ago when we were going to birthday parties. But I know that we know more about it now because we have so much more technology and information at our fingertips, right? But it is something like you just got to think back. Like, your parents let you go to a birthday party for 2 hours. Your parents let you go sleep over at somebody's house for 24 hours, right? And I'm saying your parents.
No, you could say that, bro. When I was a freshman, going into my freshman year summer, so going into my sophomore year,
yeah,
I met one of my really good buddies the first time ever. He's like a brother to me now.
Mm-hmm.
I met him at the Sholo pool. Okay, they used to bus us in from Vernon, and we go play for 4 hours from 1 to 5. I met him there that day. I called my mom on the phone at the pool. Hey, I met this dude. Can I? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Hey, I met this guy. Can I stay at his house tonight? Sure.
Yes.
Dude, and I'm like, at the time, I'm like, sweet, thanks, mom, whatever. And then I proceed to go on what would probably be the craziest night of my life to that point because we went and did some stuff like, I'm with these dudes, and I'm like, bro, I'm going to get lost. I remember being terrified. I almost got beat up. There was a lot of stuff. But my mom didn't think. She's like, here you go. See, I literally just met this kid. She'd never met his parents. Nothing, dude.
That's
just knew
awesome.
That. All right, cool. Yeah, have fun. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll pick you up somewhere else.
Very indicative of our life, though. Very indicative of the way things were when we were younger.
Yeah, they call them the latchkey kids too, right? They're like there's that Generation X for the latchkey kids, and we're kind of on that era where we weren't quite helicopter parented, but
I heard somebody say like with millennials we got like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Where one, we were young enough to where we could walk out the front door with complete freedom, but at the same time, as we got a little bit older, we got to experience the world of cell phones
and internet.
So we got a little bit of all of it. Like we had, because it was still new. It just really was awesome, man.
Being 14. Dude, I remember sitting with my buddies at like 14, dude, cheetah chat, bro. We would get on and start online chatting. Dude, it was the greatest thing. You're right, though. We didn't have that up until that point, and then you start getting, you're ripping music. When you start ripping music as a kid, you feel like a baller at the
Giving
day.
your computer STDs for
Napster,
that one song.
LimeWire. Yeah, let's go.
I was just talking about LimeWire last night with my buddies, dude.
Dude, it was a good old day.
It is absolutely crazy. But we talk about it like it's just different now and again, we're the parents. We're the parents of these kids. So, I mean, I want to know what started that.
Well, I think it's just people's fear, I guess. I don't know why. The thing at the birthday parties, I have no idea.
What started that?
I have no clue why that would be a thing. Like, it was different when we were kids and like, your aunts and uncles would stay and all that. That's expected for you to stay.
Yes,
Strangers should not be staying. Like, if I'm bringing kids from school over, their parents, I'm like, what? Like, it was never a thing. Like if you look at all the home videos, everybody used to video record that stuff, right? You put the little thing on your shoulder. You never saw
the little thing. You mean the brick?
The giant brick on your shoulder, right? You never
box?
saw parents out there like that were just sitting there kind of waiting for their kid. Mm-hmm. No, they were happy to get rid of their kid for 2 hours and then go do whatever they want to do. And in fact, that's what I used to do. Dude, you want my kids for 2 hours? Perfect. Cool. I can go to the store.
I got crap I had to get done.
I can go hit the gym, whatever I want to do, and then I can come back and not have to worry about it.
Yeah. I know that when I had the kids, the twins' birthday party back when theirs was, I had a lot of the parents hang around. And one was a buddy of mine from high school. Like, yeah, I hadn't seen him forever. His son and my son ended up playing on the same soccer team. And I was like, cool, this is a great opportunity for you to come hang out. Let's talk. I hadn't seen you since high school. Yeah. But then a lot of the other parents hanging around are like, you don't got to stay. I mean, one of them was like, is it okay if I hang around? I'm like, yeah, sure. She's like, my daughter, she's just very, very shy. She wouldn't really feel comfortable. Like, that's fine. That's totally fine. You got to stay here for your daughter to have a good time.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. But then the other parents that are hanging around, I'm like, what are you doing here?
I'm telling, but see, part of me is like with that lady, like the reason why she's shy and doesn't like the uncomfortable is because you're always there for her.
Maybe.
Sit back. Maybe you're right. Sit back. Like, it's okay. That's one thing about like the nursery classes, right? In like the churches and things, right? Mm-hmm. It was always cool, like when you just drop them off, right? Because they need the exposure of not being there. Mm-hmm. Cry it out.
Not on your hip.
They're not on your hip. It's just like it's I don't know. It's just crazy.
That's actually the problem with my daughter, dude. She loves it so much she won't go to the other classes. See, because when I drop her off at nursery, for anybody who doesn't know, nursery is basically where anywhere from 18 months to 3 years old, child's old enough to kind of get around on their own. You just leave them be in a room in the church that's just a bunch of toys, right? Yep. They get
and
snacks.
You've got leaders that just are trying to control chaos.
Control the chaos, exactly. Yeah. Herd the cats. Give them a snack here and there.
Yeah, goldfish are coming at some point.
That's fine, no problem. But like, she got to the point now where she loved that so much where she just doesn't want to leave it now. She's aged out of it. She's supposed to go on. She won't. But anyway, that's for a different story.
But that's not you guys holding her back.
No,
right?
that's her.
Not you like, hey, because that's the one. I remember just like. And it sucked being in the nursery when you were the parent.
Oh, yeah.
And you got a crying kid, and you're like, because this kid is not on your hip. I have to deal with this now. Mm-hmm. But I understand some of that. But that's part of what nursery's for, or any of these things like that are for. Is like, hey, look, you need the separation. You need, like, my sister's got a 1-year-old, right? And she's her world. And it makes sense, but I'm like, I'm telling her, like, hey, you just got to let her cry or let her do these things. It's fine. Mm-hmm. If she's fed, got a dry diaper, and she's not bleeding, dude, she's fine. Just let her cry. Yeah. It's the same kind of idea, right? Just let it happen.
They're going to be okay.
They're going to be fine.
They're going to be okay, right?
Dude, my doctor, Lexi used to crawl into bed with me every night. At like 2 a.m, she'd come lay right with me. How do I say no to that? Mm-hmm. Right? She's 2.5. I loved it.
And, that's the cutest freaking thing in the world when you're a dad and that happens.
It is, right? But then I told the doctor about the kid's doctor, and he's like, yeah, you got to stop that. And I'm like, but why? And he goes, listen, right now she's 2.5. She's coming into your room. Wait, you keep this up, then she's going to be in the living room, or she's going to go into the kitchen, or she's going to go outside. And I'm like, oh, I never thought about all that. He's like, here's what you do. This is bad too, but it worked. He goes, take her door, put the lock on the outside, and lock the door, lock her in her room. And I'm like, you sick like, are you sure? And he's like, trust me, it's like taking the binky away. It'll take 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 nights. She'll be totally fine. And, dude, it worked like a charm, dude. Took 2 nights of her kicking the door at night and me just pretending I wasn't being a bad dad, right? Yeah. Like, you're just trying. I'm like, oh, this is for the good. And she's totally fine.
Dude, it's funny you say that. If you were to walk down the bedroom hallway of my house right now, you'd see regular lock, regular lock, regular lock. What's that one turned around for? It's because I got a 3-year-old who just, when she goes to sleep, this is what I do. I lock it, and then when she goes to sleep, I'll go back and check in, and after an hour later down, when she's out, unlock it. Because she's eventually going to have to get out to go to the bathroom, whatever it is.
Right.
But to get her to go to sleep, she needs to know, no, it's bedtime. It's bedtime.
You're locked in your cage.
This is your room.
Yep.
And it's like, it's not like she's living in like a prison. Yeah. She's got a nice room,
she's
right?
fine.
She's going to be totally fine. But yeah, you're right. You just have to do that.
You have to just embrace the suck for a few days. And then after that, it's fine.
It does hurt your heart, though.
Oh, God.
It does hurt your heart. I don't care anybody that says that doesn't. It does.
Does it hurt your heart the same for the boy? Because I don't have that. Like, for me, I'm like, with my girls, like, they're pulling at it. I feel like if I was a boy, I'd be like, shut up. Like, go to sleep,
I will say it's hard also because I had twins.
Oh, yeah.
A boy and a girl at the same time. So it wasn't as easy for me to treat him totally different than the daughter because they were growing up at the same time,
same age, same everything. Yeah.
First kids, both of them. So I will say now, and we've talked about this. Now it's way easier for me to be a little bit tougher on him than it is for me to be tougher on the girls, and that's just because at that age I vividly remember being his age. So like, I know a little bit more about what he's talking about. But I'll say this, and I'm trying so hard not to be that parent. He's such a good kid.
Dude, I know. I have the same. I'm like,
I try so hard not to be that parent because those parents drive me freaking nuts.
Well, but like when he's not.
I know,
right?
I know he's not perfect.
No, but at the same, like when you see some of these other kids, you're like, but it's always good when you get complimented by your kids from somebody else. Yeah, because then you're like, okay, good. They're little jerks here at home, but you know what? At least they know that when they're out of this house, they're going to be respectful because they're going to get more trouble. So yeah, but I'm always like, man, because I have this. My girls are they're good kids, but at home, dude, Lexi and I, we'll go to war, bro. Dude. But I get complimented on her all the time because she babysits these kids down the street. They come up every day, every Sunday at church. They come up and they hug her. They just want to sit with us. They don't even sit with their family, bro. They sit with us during the entire thing.
Remember last time we went camping for a week?
Oh, yeah.
Benton followed Lexi literally everywhere she went.
That was awesome. He'd sit outside is Lexi ready to come out yet?
Dude, and I know that's his first crush. He hadn't said it to me, but I know that's his first crush. I know it. There's no other way to explain. No, actually, there are other ways to explain it. But knowing his age, knowing Lexi, that's definitely his first crush. For sure. Yeah, that's. In fact, I'm going to ask him that next chance I get. I'm going to totally ask him. So, buddy, who's your first crush? He may or may not tell me. But the other day, I found out they had a girlfriend at school because my daughter told me. Oh, geez. And he got so red, and I was like, "All right, buddy, it's all right."
I remember when Ava came home and she had a boyfriend. She was talking about her boyfriend. Was it Houston, Austin, something?
Some Texas
city. This son of a gun, dude. I don't even like him. I don't even know him. I don't like him. I've never been mad at like a 5-year-old before, but I am now, you know? Yeah, Dad, we're going to get married. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, right, you are. No chance.
It was fun stuff.
It is fun stuff. It is fun watching your kids grow up and just remembering those stages you went through because you remember them so vividly. Yeah. Like they're still there. They are seared in my brain from 30 years ago. Like I remember being their age so well. And it's hard for them to fathom that I do. You know what I mean? They're like, wait, what, Dad? You did this? Oh. Yeah, kids, I did those things.
And when they get older, they're going to think you're even dumber.
I know. And I'm going to be old, man.
Yeah, you are a little older.
I'm going to be old when
I'm like, with my kids, I'm like, bro, it's been less than 20 years since I got out of high school. Like, I know everything you're doing. I already know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Just tell me because I'm not going to.
You're just doing it differently.
Yeah, you're just doing it differently. You get the same ideas, the same crap, but I don't think I don't remember because I remember very well what I was doing at 15, 16 years old. Mm-hmm. So let's not get it twisted. You know, just tell me what you want to do or what you're going to do because I don't want to find out. Well, Dad, you don't understand. No, I'm pretty sure I do. Like, I think I was probably worse than you. What you guys are doing is not that bad. In fact, here's what you should be doing. You know,
I got some pointers if you want them.
Dude, Allie goes out last night. She goes they go to TP a house, right? Because it's payback because this boy or somebody.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's so kind of amateur, you know? like whatever happened to egging? Whatever happened to the good old days? They're like, Dad, we're not trying to go to jail. I was like, that's a good point. Like, dude, I don't want to do. But
I remember there was a girl that had asked me out to winter formal. I think is what it was. Or Morp. It was one of the girl-ass guy formal dances in school, right? And I don't remember which one. I want to say it was Morp. It was probably Morp because it wasn't a formal one. Like we went in like T-shirts and jeans or something like that. But matching T-shirts and jeans, right?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Anyway, so and that's the way like they always ask you some creative.
Sadie Hawkins maybe is the other
I think that's what they call it outside of here. We always called it Morp, but I think it's called Sadie Hawkins.
Morp and then I thought it was two. But anyway,
yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I got asked, and it's always like this creative way. You have to come back with some poem of how you're going to answer. And I remember thinking I was being clever. Dude, looking back on it, her parents had to have absolutely hated me because I didn't think anything of it. My response was, the news is you asked me to whatever dance it was. Headline, yes. That's my poster board. And I covered her yard in newspapers. Covered it, right? Didn't think it because so back in the day when we got newspapers, right? We would stack them outside the laundry room door in the garage, and we'd eventually take them to like a place where you'd recycle them. But the stacks, they would get stacks and stacks because you didn't do it very often. I took stacks and stacks in the back of my car and littered her yard with them, dude. And they lived in a big acre plus property.
Still, or
no. Just open them up and scattered them all over the yard. I kid you not. I covered every inch of grass. Sprinklers came on, bro. Yeah, wrecked her house. Just like I said, and I didn't clean any of it up, bro.
Hate you.
Her parents had to have hated me, and I thought I was just being cool. I just thought I was being like, "Hey, man, I got a real clever way of answering her. Check this out, dude." She had to clean the whole thing up.
Dude, I cannot. I don't even want to tell this story. It's so embarrassing.
Do you want me to pause it so we know exactly where to cut if you don't want this to go live?
No, it can because it happened. I can't lie about it. There were witnesses to the whole entire thing, so it's not like it didn't happen. But so you're talking about asking somebody to.
Okay, all right, let's hear it.
So homecoming. Gosh, dude, this is terrible. It's bad because I'm a father of daughters, bro. I can't even imagine.
Senior or junior year, sophomore year, which one?
Junior year.
Okay.
For homecoming.
Okay.
And mind you, my mother, was it junior year or senior year? Might have been senior year. I can't remember. It was senior year. Homecoming. My mom was all behind this too. Like, she's good with it. So just for the record, my mom knew. So I got a bunch of condoms. Like, listen,
this is a great start.
No, it wasn't, dude. And it said, I put on the thing, wouldn't you feel protected? Oh. Dude, it was bad. It was really bad. So I get answered. So this is how. Now, this girl and I were cool. Like, she was a good friend of mine. Like, you know, we had kind of dated. Not even really dated. We just hung out.
Wouldn't you feel protected what?
To go to homecoming with me. Okay, so, yeah. I'm sure her dad hated me. I can't even imagine. This is why I have 3 girls. So, she answered me back. You know how she answered me back? She used pads.
Awesome.
Stuck them to my entire car. And wrote the words "yes" on my windshield in pads with ketchup on them. This is all a true story, dude. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, this is so wrong.
This is 100% high school kids that really have no idea what they're actually
doing. We really don't. I was just dumb, dude. Like, it was so... Yeah, it was bad.
I gotta say, her response is good. Dude, I was not prepared for the question you asked. Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, dude. That's why I got cursed with 3 girls, bro. Like, my biggest fear is them running into the teenage version of me, dude. Like,
dude, yeah, I think that's every dad's concern.
Ugh.
Every dad's concern is that their daughters will run into a guy like they were.
And that was not my wife. I never asked my wife like that. I did go to prom with her one year, but I don't remember how I asked her. It wasn't that elaborate. Mm-hmm. I think I didn't get. I stopped with all the getting all crazy with it after that one because I'm pretty sure her my father-in-law probably would have. Oh no, her brothers. That's why I would have been dumb enough. My wife's got 4 brothers.
And did you know all the brothers?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
And one of them, who I'm actually really good, like, I think him and I are the closest now. He wanted to kill me.
Yeah,
like, he just did not like me. So I would definitely not have been that dumb. This girl I asked, she had a brother, but he was older, and I didn't really. She was just a good friend of mine. It was just a funny joke. Yeah, it's not my brightest moment, though. It's fine.
I think it was your brightest moment, dude. That's freaking awesome.
It's a true story, dude. It's funny. It's funny.
I don't have anyone that was as good as that one. In fact, I thought my news one was so good, I used it twice.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I think it's great. I would have loved it. And it's clean humor. Like, it's perfect.
Oh, I thought it was perfect, man. I did. But the next girl I littered her room with it. Because I learned from my mistake. Yeah. Don't put it in the grass, dude. Like, so I went in and just covered her room in newspapers. And so I don't know if she knows that I used it twice, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I was not that creative when it came to crap like that. Once I found an idea, I'm like, I'm sticking with. I think it's awesome.
Oh, I can't imagine.
I should have used the protection, though. That's so awesome.
Yeah, stupid.
Things it makes sense, though, dude, because you were left tackle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. You're all about protection, baby.
I'm just saying. Like, I probably could have done it a little different, but she answered me back perfect for the whole way it worked down. It was like, okay, payback, got it, we're good. Like
you said, good friends.
Well played. Yeah, good friends, well played. Yeah, she lives in Joe City now, I think, and she got like 6 kids. Like,
yeah,
but yeah,
it's funny. Anytime that comes up, I'm always like, "Hey, dude, they're happy, they're fine, things are great." Like, yeah, maybe those relationships at the time didn't work out.
Yeah,
maybe it didn't happen. Maybe it wasn't supposed to. Because now I look at my life, I'm like, I'm so glad that one didn't work out, and that one didn't work out. Because I can also look at them and say, look at them, they're happy. Yeah, they're happy with their chosen spouse. Their kids, those kids wouldn't happen with me. Like, same thing with my kids wouldn't happen with them. So it's easy for me to look at those past experiences and be like, I'm glad that I had them. I wish that I'd made smarter decisions. when I was in those relationships.
I know, yeah.
Right?
Made some dumb decisions when I was a kid, but it's fine. That's being a kid.
That is being a kid. I wish I could also say it was all being a kid. The dumbest decisions I made when I was an adult. So, I wish that I'd made better choices. But I look at it and say, it's worked out.
Live and learn.
You live and you learn. Like, that's 100% the truth. As much as I hate to admit it, sometimes you have to learn from your own mistakes instead of the obvious mistakes that other people have made that you could have watched and said, nope, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, right. You do it anyway. That's the truth. Did you see that Robert Kraft told Arthur Blank not to hire Bill Belichick?
Did you see that we just totally got off track on Sports Sunday with a whole bunch of other stuff?
And I love it. Bro.
Yeah, I love it. Nothing we can do about it.
I almost feel like it's going to be impossible for us to stick to that.
It is, dude.
It's going to be our goal, but it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But no, I did not. Why?
So according to the reporting was that that Robert Kraft told Arthur Blank. By the way, Arthur Blank, for those you don't know, is the owner of the Atlanta Falcons, who were widely rumored to be hiring Bill Belichick, the second winningest coach in NFL history.
He takes a golf cart everywhere in the stadium.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he does not walk anywhere.
Well, good for him.
He's old.
He is old. Yeah. You know how he got rich?
Oil?
No, Home Depot.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Home Depot. He's the Home Depot guy.
Yeah, that's right.
So anyway, and not only that, but apparently their stadium has the cheapest concessions in anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, and they're sticking with it. Like, no, listen, you come to our stadium, you can be able to afford to be here.
I want to be so fat all the time, and just, dude, I seriously want to just travel the country and eat food like
just
that.
Eat all the food.
Because there's places in Atlanta that like they've had forever that do like chili dogs or something stupid, right? Mm-hmm. Or like I can't remember these names of these places, but I can picture them from these shows I watch. I want to go to all the places and just eat food. Like, I want to do an entire East Coast trip from Florida to Maine, hitting all the food spots. All the stuff. Nothing else. I don't care about the history of any crap. I want food.
Dude, we should take this on the road, baby. Let's say the JJ and Pug show on the road.
This is why we got to do a 5013C so we can get the donations for this, yes. Dude.
I'll go all excited about the history places that we go. You can show me where we're going to go and eat, and we'll both go eat.
Oh, it's going to have to be a while, though, because I'm going to put on some weight.
It's never going to happen.
We're going to be sweatpants.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you right now, the reason why it's never going to happen is we're never going to be able to take the time necessary to do this.
Well, that's when we go full-time here. Yeah, sponsors are coming.
You know what? Yeah, once this thing blows up, that's what we're going to do.
It's only road show. Only one person's got to hear it, and boom. Boom.
The right person. Hey, Bill Simmons. Yeah. Bring us onto the Ringer Network.
Something. Or the New Heights guys. Come on.
Yeah, New Heights. Come on, Kelsey Brothers.
Yeah, let's talk football.
Yeah. What's his name? Joe Rogan. Do you have a podcast network, or is it just your one show?
Yeah, really. I think you should have a network.
Yeah, get your network, man.
Did you see the Kelsey Brothers? So Jason lost his Super Bowl ring?
I did. I saw
He has not found it. He is convinced it's in a landfill.
I mean, I'm convinced it's not. I'm convinced it's in someone's house. They have it framed and say, this is a Super Bowl ring from the Philadelphia Eagles. I stole it. I'm holding on to it.
Who would come into his house and steal it? He lost it at his house.
Oh, then it's in his house somewhere.
He's looked everywhere. It had to do with there was like a party or something, and he remembers there was chili or something at the party, some kind of thing. But he's like, dude, he's pretty convinced it's at a landfill because it got thrown away. I'm like, bro, how do you lose? Now, what happens? Do you just get another one? Can they remake it, or how does that work?
I have no idea. I know that when they make them specifically for that Super Bowl, like special design, special diamond amount. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, do you get another one?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea because he's only got one. It's not like it's Travis, where Travis has got three now.
Travis is like, hey, just take this one.
Yeah, I got you one.
I got you. Don't worry about it.
Dude, I don't know. I still look at it and say somebody stole it. I just think that's like, you remember when Tom Brady's jersey got stolen for the Super Bowl? Where it was like it just disappeared after the Atlanta Falcons win. It didn't disappear. Someone walked away with it.
So my guy who does my tattoos, right? He was telling me he was touching up my last tattoo, and he's telling me about a Rolex watch he has, which I love this because he's like, the watch is a $40,000 Rolex. Oh my gosh. He goes, my wife thinks it's a $15,000 Rolex. I was like, how typical is that, bro? You never tell all of what it is, right? No.
It's a Rolex.
It's a Rolex. So it's just a Rolex. So anyway, they had a party at their house, and one of his the watch is missing, and he's afraid it's one of his buddy's kids. But he's like, how do I approach that? I'm like, you just freaking ask him, dude. That's a 40. Yeah, I'd walk him like, listen, your kid was the last one in the room last time I saw it. I don't even care if it's in his toy box at home. I'm just saying, it's a $40,000 watch, bro.
That's a car, dog.
Yeah, I'm like, I need my watch. Like, I want to go to your house myself. But I'm like, man, can you imagine? Like, so how does the Kelsey brother, like, if you look at Super Bowl, who do you accuse? Do you accuse somebody? You better know.
Yeah, you better know. You better be confident of it. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, you better know because that could be like. Because what if it's like his brother-in-law?
Yeah, dude. If it's a family member that stole it.
But that's who else are you letting in your house, really? Outside of like real close family and friends, who again would just be like accusing family. How do you ask somebody?
I gotta be honest. It's still one of those questions.
I think Benton was in my room, and I'm pretty sure he stole my $40,000 watch.
Dude, sorry, that just when you said Benton was in my room, it totally reminded. I can't tell that story. Never mind. I'll tell you that when we're not recording. One of the funniest. This was 100% one of those moments where you're like, "This can't happen. This can't happen." Oh, it happened.
I feel like we should talk about it.
No, I can't.
Okay,
I can't. I need permission to share that one.
Okay.
In fact, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to ask for permission, and if I don't get it, I'll just tell you off the microphones.
That's fine.
Okay. So sorry for everybody that just listened to me tease something you're never going to hear. I apologize for that. I hate it doing that, but you're never going to hear that one. Maybe not. But I don't know. I don't know if you're Jason Kelce. I don't know what you do. And if he's convinced it's in a landfill, then clearly he's not concerned about it being somebody that stole it. I just look at it and say that that doesn't just disappear.
But then what do you do now? I would. That's the one Super Bowl ring you won.
I mean, I'm sure there's a mold. You can get a replica made, I'm sure.
There has to be because, yes, the jersey's cool. Like, right, I'm keeping my jersey.
Yeah.
I'm probably keeping every unit out of probably that whole outfit's going to be on a mannequin in my house somewhere if it was me.
Yeah.
But the ring?
Yeah. And we're talking, I don't know, maybe I'm being stupid, hundreds of thousands of dollars for those rings?
So what is one ring worth, you think?
Well, I mean, the one ring, because you remember the Falcons and the Patriots Super Bowl.
Ugh, the devastating loss.
That one had a huge amount of diamonds in it. Like, I think it was 283. And that was to mark the 28-3 comeback. So 283 diamonds were in that one ring. So what's that worth?
But like, how big are the diamonds? Like, they're just little chunks of diamonds.
But that's the things I don't know. I'm not a jeweler. I don't have any clue.
If you were to buy, like, you got to figure there's a 55-man roster.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a ring. 53-man plus practice coaches squad. Plus practice squad.
Yes.
Let's just
let's say 100.
100.
Let's say 100
rings.
100.
If the rings are, there's no way, dude. What is 50,000 times 100? Is it 5 million?
Yeah.
So I guess that's not crazy.
No.
If each ring's $50,000, and if they're $100,000 each, then maybe you're at 10 million.
10 million for the entire
thing, which
and
arguably you're
how much money these guys are making
because you're at the Super Bowl.
Because the owner's the one doing it. The owner's getting crap tons of money for your team being in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's not. Maybe they are $200,000, $300,000 rings each.
I don't know.
So is there an insurance policy on that for the one you lost?
You know what we should do? What we should do is we should say how much. Okay, so the cost per Super Bowl ring can run anywhere, and this is according to fastcompany.com. So who the F is these guys? I don't know. Cost anywhere between $30,000 to $50,000. It says the New England Patriots Super Bowl, 54 rings, for instance, cost $36,500 each.
So that's what I'm saying. They may have 283 diamonds in them, but they're probably like tiny diamonds.
A full set of rings for a team can cost upwards of $5 million.
So that sounds about right.
It's about what we had said. I still look and say that, I don't know, that sounds low, but again, I'm not a jeweler. I don't have any clue.
Me too. But dude, when you think about it, let's just say it's $35,000 ring. That's
a lot of money for a ring.
Man.
That's a lot of money for a watch.
What's that? What's Ludacris say on his pinky in that song? Well, yeah, what's that?
Oh, I don't remember.
I can't remember. I have to think of the lyrics to that.
I just wanted to say this because earlier we were talking about, the difference in LeBron and Kobe. So towards the end of Kobe's career, he wasn't Kobe anymore, right? He really wasn't. He was a figurehead. Yeah. He was in. You remember that the kind of like the farewell tour he took, where everybody knew it was his last year, and so everybody was saying goodbye to him. In that year, he played 66 games, and he scored 17.5 points a game. Okay, that's not what you'd expect from Kobe. But one of the reasons why is because the previous season, he only played 35 games and got 22 points, is because the year before that is when he tore his Achilles.
Right.
Tearing his Achilles, he was never the same player ever again. Like that just, and which is to be understood, especially when he did it at 35 years old, right? 35 years old, tears his Achilles, coming back from that's going to be tough, right? Which is one of the things that I find insane about LeBron James and his longevity is he's never had a serious injury in his career. Never. The least amount of games he's ever played in a season was 45. And that was the year after the championship season, after the COVID championship. And that was a year he just had a lot of little injuries, a lot of little lingering injuries. Outside of that, he's always been 55-plus games a season. This year, age 39, do you guess what was his average points per game this year?
30.
No, not quite that much. I mean, that would be freaking amazing. If you average 30, that'd be Michael Jordan level, right?
So probably like 25.
26, almost 26, 25.7. He averaged 8 assists a game as well, and 7 boards. 39 years old, 26, 7, and 8. That's freaking nuts, man.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
He's an old man out there. But yeah, but he's that old man now. Like, when he's playing church ball, he's the old man just dropping dimes out from out there. That's what LeBron's doing now. He's super conservative in his energy.
Yes.
He doesn't play defense.
He's 100%
when he doesn't have to
not
play.
the defensive player he was.
Not even close. He will let you blow by. He don't care. He's like, nope.
And some of it is because he's 39.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, I'm not gonna. It ain't worth it. Like,
and he can't.
Yeah,
like the lateral movements. He's just not
knows.
the guy he was.
There's videos of him just like, this is why he'll never be the GOAT. But he's 39. Like, you can't Jordan didn't play when he was 39. Like, so we don't know that. Mm-hmm. So I guarantee you that there'd be a little bit like, okay, I'm going to let this guy just go have it. Because what am I going to do? Hurt him? Try to take him out? Why?
I'm just going to foul him.
Points.
It's just going to end up in a foul.
Yeah,
and then
just let it go. He's going to get the 2 points either way. Most free throw shooters, or most guys in the league, can shoot decent free throw shooting.
So the very last season, remember when when Michael Jordan came back after 3 years gone, he played for the Wizards, right? Oh, yeah. In his final 2 years with the Wizards, he was 38 and 39 years old. So this is like a direct comparison to LeBron James as far as age goes. Yeah. Different era of basketball, so it's not perfect.
It's different.
Right. So in 2001, 2002, so this is the first year back with the Wizards, he averaged 23 points a game, 5 assists, and we'll call it 6 rebounds, 5.7. So 5 and 6 and 23 points a game. 22.9, by the way. His last year, which was when he was, again, 39 years old, he scored 20 points a game. LeBron's 26. And I'm not trying to compare them exactly.
No, you can't.
I just feel like I have to make sure people know that I'm not saying this direct cross line. But I'd say both of them are age 39. And he got 5 or 6 rebounds a game. Wait, hold on a second. Make sure I'm looking down the right column. And 4 assists a game. And so LeBron doubled up that.
What is the minutes played, though, is what I would want to know. Because LeBron plays a ton. Mm-hmm. Because the Lakers rely on him.
Yeah. So, but the other thing that's different about this era is that players don't play near as many minutes a game. LeBron is, he's different in that regard. So, in this one, at age 39, he played 71 games out of a possible 82 and played 35 minutes a game. With Michael Jordan, he started 67 games, which is weird because he played all 82. That's weird. He only started 67.
Bench MJ.
Yeah. And he played 37 games a night, or 37 minutes a night, so 2 more minutes per night. So
he's still playing, yeah.
Pretty comparable when you look at the two. But I mean, it's just crazy to me. This is with Michael Jordan took a year off after the 93 championship, and then he took 3 years off after the 98 championship. And
then still comes back and
plays.
And drops 20 a game.
So we're talking like Michael Jordan really was. Guys, he was a freak. He was an absolute freak. I mean, dude, I'm looking here just on his basketball reference page. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons in which he averaged 30 or more points a game. 8 seasons.
That's insane.
Over 30 points a game. And one of those is 35 points a game. 35 points a game, dude.
That's insane.
And this is the amount of times he led the league in scoring. By the way, I told you, he had a season in which he scored 37 points a game. And that was all 82 games. 82 games. He played all 82 games and averaged 37.1. And he didn't even take three-pointers. In that season, he averaged less than 1 3-point attempt a game.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so this is how many times he led the league in scoring. 1, 2, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mm-hmm. 10. And this is how many times he led the league in steals. 1, 2, and 3. You know what his career average for steals was?
4?
No, not quite that high. I hate it when I do that to you because it makes you feel like
probably. I mean, 3.
2.3.
Yeah.
2.3. You know what LeBron James' career average is?
1.7.
Very close. 1.5.
Yeah.
Okay. That is, you know what Kobe's career average when it came to steals was?
1.6, right in the middle.
1.4. Just barely under. You know how many times Kobe led the league in scoring?
4.
2. Which this one's crazy. Do you remember the year that this was right after they traded Shaq? It was 05-06 when there was nobody on the Lakers. Nobody.
Pau Gasol came over.
He hadn't yet. So it was Kobe and scrubs. This is one of those famous stories where he went into the locker room and told everyone they're not allowed to wear his shoes. Yeah. Except for one guy.
Right.
The one guy wears shoes. You can't wear my shoes because you suck. You can't wear my shoes. You suck. That season, he averaged 35.4 points a game. That's the one where he scored 81 against the Raptors. So he had a season, and that wasn't that long ago, where he had 35 points a game. I'm looking here, and I can only see one time that one and 2 times LeBron James scored 30 points a game. And only one time did he lead the league in scoring per game. So, but he's also...
And he's never been all NBA defensive player of the year.
He's never been defensive player of the year.
Did Kobe ever win that?
I'm going to say no. Let me look at it.
I don't know.
I don't think he ever did. Let's see. He was never a defensive player of the year. He was, let's see. He was a 12-time all-defensive team player. So he was on the all-defensive team 12 times. He was obviously we know he won 5 times championship. He was, let's see, all-defensive. There's no way he wasn't. 15 times all-NBA. So he was on an all-NBA team 15 times in his career, that's a pretty big number. You want to know how many times LeBron James was on an all-NBA team?
Once.
Oh,
3
no.
times.
19 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he's crushed that.
He crushed that one, but
that's pretty good.
Only 6 times was he an all-defensive player. So there's definitely things you can look at, and you can use this one to compare and use this one to compare. Yeah. The one thing that does not compare is Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
You want to look at those numbers as, again, he was a defensive player of the year. He was a 9-time all-defensive player. He was a 5-time MVP. He was a 6-time he was a 10-time scoring champ, 6-time NBA champion, 6-time NBA Finals MVP. And that was all in a 15 years career. 5 less years than Kobe, 6 less years than LeBron.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Having said all of that, he didn't win crap until Scottie Pippen got there.
Right, and we talked about that.
You have to have your Robin.
You have to have somebody. Yeah, you have to.
And again, we talked about with Kobe.
Yeah.
When Shaq was gone, nothing.
Yeah.
Pau Gasol came, they win.
Got something. Yeah. You need somebody.
You have to have a Robin.
Yeah.
Have to. So anyway, there's a couple other things on here. I don't know that we want to get into them. Did you want to get into slap boxing?
Dude. No, let's save it for Wednesday.
Okay, we'll save slap boxing. What about the? No, we'll save it. We're good. Dude, how long do you think we've been going?
2 hours.
Almost. It's been an hour and 46 minutes.
That's crazy.
Should I split this up into 3 parts again?
No, I think it's fine.
We'll just throw it all down
2
in
parts, maybe at the most. But
maybe we'll do 2. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening for the nearly 2 hours again. Any closing remarks? Closing statements?
No, I think it's time for bed.
It's definitely time for bed. All right. Well, cheese bags. Stay fresh.
Yeah, like fat kids in dodgeball. We're out.
The JJ and Pug Show theme song was written, composed, and performed by Lane Hartman. Special thanks to Highland Communities for all the support given to our show. You can find the JJ and Pug Show podcast wherever you do listen to podcasts. Look us up on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Remember to share the show with your friends and family and subscribe wherever you do listen. If you're able to, please feel free to support us by sending a donation to us by going to ko-fi.com/the JJ and Pug Show. That is ko-fi.com/The JJ and Pug Show. Again, thank you so much to everybody for all the support, whether that is by simply listening, whether that is sharing it with a friend, or giving us that sweet, sweet cash. We truly appreciate it all. Thank you so much.